सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। The vital role of intellect. Humanity has stopped thinking. Vijay, கேக்குதாப்பா? நல்லா கேக்குதா? Okay. Amit, I'm using a new toy today, so I'm checking whether the audio, video, and all is clear. Alpana, is it clear? Yours only. Okay. Good. Humanity has stopped thinking. That's the topic. What is meant by humanity has stopped thinking? By default, everybody assumes there is thinking going on. And yet the topic says humanity has stopped thinking. It means the word thinking has a special meaning here. We have to understand, like not in the ordinary sense that we all use the word thinking. Because if we use the ordinary meaning of the word thinking, everybody is thinking. Who's not thinking? And yet the topic says humanity has stopped thinking. It means the word thinking is used in a very unique, the word thinking is used in a special sense, unique sense. What is the special unique sense in which the word thinking is used? One purpose, one aspect of the intellect is to gain knowledge. One aspect of the intellect is to gain knowledge. One aspect of the intellect is to make use of the existing knowledge. As you make use of the existing knowledge, you gather more knowledge. That is one aspect of the intellect. The other aspect of the intellect is monitoring the senses and the mind. So, two functions to the intellect. One function is to seek and gain knowledge. So you seek knowledge, you gain knowledge, you make use of the existing knowledge. As you are making use of the existing knowledge, you go on gathering more and more knowledge. That is one function of the intellect. Another function of the intellect is to monitor the senses and the mind. Why do you seek knowledge? Why do we all seek knowledge? Why do we seek knowledge? Why do we gain knowledge? We seek knowledge, we gain knowledge because seeking knowledge implies the futility of being ignorant and the loss you get by being ignorant. Then only you seek and gain knowledge. The fact that you are seeking and gaining knowledge implies what? When will you seek something? You seek something only when you understand by not having it, you are losing something. Something vital is lost. Something important is being lost by not having it. Then only you will seek it. Supposing if you say it's okay to be ignorant. Supposing the person says, it's perfectly all right to be ignorant. If you say it is perfectly all right to be ignorant, will you seek knowledge? So seeking knowledge implies you understand the loss of being ignorant. You follow? Now, what is the problem of being ignorant? That is why intellect comes into play. What is the problem of being ignorant? That we all seek gain knowledge. Is there a problem by being ignorant? Supposing if we say there's no problem at all, sir, there's no problem by being ignorant, then seeking, gaining knowledge will not happen at all. And yet you have to gain, knowledge. Why? Because by being ignorant, there is a loss. There is a loss. There is a consequence. What is the consequence of being ignorant? What is the consequence of ignorance? Dependency. The consequence of being ignorant. Agitations, dependency, agitations, vulnerability. All these are consequences of being ignorant. Correct? Example. What is an example? Child. You have a child at home. The child is wonderful. The child is beautiful. But you also want the child to grow up very fast. Correct? If the child is so wonderful, if the child is so beautiful, why can't it just be 2 years old all the time? No, it should not be. Why? Because there is something problematic there. What is that problematic? It is vulnerable. It will not grow. Therefore, we have understood growth happens only by knowledge. That is why the richest person also will want their children to get educated, isn't it? Oh, so much of wealth is there. Just don't even go to primary school, sit at home, enjoy the wealth happily. Will they say that? Why? Because by being ignorant, you are vulnerable. Vulnerable to what? That's where humanity has stopped thinking. Vulnerable to what? Vulnerable to the senses and the mind. Vulnerable to the senses and the mind. So in the past, we know education means it does both. Now in the modern day, education is not doing both. Modern day education is doing only one. What? Intelligence alone is growing. The man is becoming more and more intelligent, but no intellect at all. Isn't it? In the olden days, they say, they'll ask, isn't it? In the olden days, they'll ask, how can you be so educated and make mistakes? It means what? Education is implied. Knowledge, education is implied that you will be matured and not make mistakes. Today, if somebody asks me the question, I will turn back and say, what nonsense. Educated fellow means, obviously educated fellow also will make mistakes because he is not educated in that. He is educated in what? He is educated in handling. Yeah. He is educated in handling cement and steel. Yeah, Ganesh. Cement and steel, educated in handling cement and steel. Now you know how to handle cement and steel. What do you know? Car, film, what are they, isn't it? You know how to, yeah, Ravindran is sitting here, I know. Yeah. What do you know? How to put films in the car. Yeah. Or very customs. You know that? Correct. Customs. And after he retired, we lost our power in Chennai airport. You know that? Before that, we know him. Because we know him, you can smuggle anything. Yeah. So that is every field has one. What are you doing? What are you doing? Aparna? I don't know. I don't know what she is doing. She's not telling me also. Yeah. Raghu, I know what he is doing. ஒன்றும் பண்ணல. Yeah, but பண்ற மாதிரி ஒரு டைட்டில் தான் இருக்குது, isn't it? Nothing. So, so in any way, we assume that education should produce a matured human being. The purpose of education is to make a human being matured. In the modern day education has got no relevance to making a human being matured. In that way, he's saying humanity has stopped thinking. Are you able to follow? Education should make a human being mature. Today, is there any educated person being matured? Yeah. More educated, no, more arrogance. Yeah. More educated, no, more fighting. It looks like education and maturity are inversely proportional now. More educated you become, less inversely proportional, you understand, no? More educated you become, less, more immature you are. That's inversely proportional. More and more educated you are, more and more immature you are becoming. That's what he means by saying humanity has stopped thinking. Nobody is waking up and asking, where are we going wrong? In that sense, the topic humanity has stopped thinking, which we have covered already. We are going to go into the next topic, but I'm trying to summarize what we have studied till now. So, in what way it is meant humanity has stopped thinking? Education is to make human being mature, and that today's education system is not making human being matured at all, and nobody is thinking about it. Nobody is even bothered about it. In that way, humanity has stopped thinking. Are you okay till now? Second point. Education is to make life better. Education means knowledge means to make life better, isn't it? Whether when the human being is hunting in the forest, same insecurity. With so much of wealth and security around, the human being is still same insecurity. Has anything changed? When the human being is hunting in the forest, to feel insecure is understandable, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, sitting in everything is available. Imagine a person sitting in the BMW agitated and crying. It means we have not grown at all. In that sense, humanity has stopped thinking. What does humanity stopped thinking means? Education should bring about a maturity. Education should make life better. Here also we had a problem. Here also we made a mistake. What is the mistake the humanity has made? Making life better means make more and more objects available. Yeah. Previously, ஒரு book தான் இருக்கும், isn't it? With one book, I used to go around teaching. Yeah. அங்க ஒரு gadget, இங்க ஒரு gadget, இங்க ஒரு gadget. I'm looking like sitting in the middle of everything. Life is so better, no? So the second purpose of it is life should become better. What does life better means? When do we say life has become better? Does availability of objects make life better? Or your mental state determines life is better? That's where humanity has stopped thinking. Again, I repeat. Does availability of objects makes life better? Or your mental state makes life better? Humanity has stopped thinking. Because everybody has assumed that if the objects are available, life will become better. Now, objects are available. Again, you can see the proportion. What is the proportion? Again, you can see the same proportion, no? Yeah. Objects, more and more and more objects, more and more it is worrisome, isn't it? So I look at the I look at the iPad, I look at the surface, I look at the phone, I look at the watch. I'm thinking if I'm hijacked, what will be my worth? Yeah. Supposing if I'm kidnapped, hijacked, what will be my worth? At least it's so much it is at the end, but life has not become better. So humanity has stopped thinking means what will make life better is availability of objects or mental state. Humanity has stopped thinking in that count also. In that count also, humanity has stopped thinking. Three, humanity has stopped thinking. What is humanity stopped thinking in the third one? Here we turn philosophical. The first two are observational, that is common sense. The third one is philosophical, where humanity has stopped thinking. Humanity has stopped thinking in the sense of, do you obey the law or you will create the law? What the ego likes to do. What the ego likes to do. Would you want to obey the law or you want to create your own law? What the ego likes to do. Create law, Ravindran. After 35 years, he's saying, I would like to create law. You should have said obedience, correct? No, obedience. So, intellect means clarity between the two. Do you create it or do you obey it? Your mental state is not dependent on creating the law. Your mental state is dependent on obeying the law. It means you need a knowledge that educates you on the law, and it has to tell you also obey the law. Ego says, no, I make my own laws. Nobody should tell me what to do, sir. I will decide what. Yeah. I will decide what I will do, and I'll also decide what others also should do. Isn't it? Yeah. If you have to create a law, if you have to make a law, you have to be all-knowing. If you are not all-knowing, better obey the law. Are you able to understand the difference? Why can't we create constitutions? Why can't we go on creating law? You can create. So every law that is created, there are 150 violations in that. So there are 150 amendments to that. And each and every amendment will be violated again. So it means we go on creating a law that can never ever make life peaceful, better. Therefore, there is other. What is the other? There is a law which guides the creation. There is a law already at place. You need not create anything. There is a law that is already at place. You need an education that teaches you about the law that is already at place and tells you obey that. Human ego will not like that, isn't it? The human ego will not like that. It will say, no, we will bring changes, we will do it. Humanity has stopped. In this angle also, humanity has stopped thinking. Lastly, the fourth one. Innala sonna idu varaikum. Education should make a person. First thing I said is, summa type pannungo. Education should make you mature. Education should make you make life better. Education should make life better. The third thing I said is obey the law. The fourth thing is education is the clarity on what we always calls as essentials and non-essentials, means and the end. Clarity on means and the end. Clarity on means and the end. See, we all know the end. Problem comes only by the means. What is the end that we all want? As far as the end is concerned, no human being will have a doubt. What is the end that we all want? Happy, peaceful, isn't it? Even death also should be anayasam, sir, isn't it? Even death also should be happy, peaceful death, isn't it? Even before I know what's happening, I should go, isn't it? So we know what we, as an end, there is a clarity. Nobody has a problem about the end. Where you need knowledge is what is the road, what is the path, what is the means that is going to take you to that end. Clarity is needed there. You can't do whatever you feel like doing and expect that end to come. What is that end that we all want? Peace and happiness. Peace and happiness is the end that we want. What is the road to take? What is the path to take to get to that end? Humanity has stopped thinking there. Humanity has stopped thinking in that area also. Humanity has stopped thinking. Up to this we have studied already. Correct? Up to this we have studied already. Now we will move on to the next topic. What is the next topic? Result of non-thinking. Yes, Padingu. Read. Result of non-thinking.
Result of non-thinking. The world has lost the wondrous faculty of the intellect to think originally, independently. People are possessed with groundless beliefs and faiths. You pick them up without question or reason, without proof of their credibility, and accept them as a matter of fact. You must realize some of your strongest beliefs had taken roots in your childhood. Your life runs on those faithful lines. They seem too obvious to you that you feel it would be sacrilegious to question them. Two children of unknown religious background were brought up in a different religious environment, one by a staunch Christian family, the other by a devout Muslim family. As they grew up, the former declared himself a Christian professing his biblical beliefs, and the latter pronounced himself a Muslim professing Islamic belief. Both have not cared to question, analyze the validity before assuming such a solemn stand in life. Likewise, two children of the same family, brought up in two different countries, adopted their respective political beliefs. The child living in the communistic environment grew up to be a communist, while the other living in capitalistic background became a capitalist. Scarce indeed does one exercise one's thought, reason, or judgment before adopting any political standing. William Drummond wisely observes, "He who cannot reason is a fool. He who will not is a bigot. He who dares not is a slave." The human race has for long succumbed to fanatic belief and faith without intellectual assessment and evaluation. Such irrational approach to life, bereft of logic and reason, has led humans to perennial strife and struggle, antagonism and terrorism all over the world. The loss of intellect and its application to life has caused the fungus of pseudo-religious and psychic bodies to spread everywhere, resulting in astrologers and soothsayers, Vastu Shastris and Feng Shuers proliferating and destroying the dignity and grandeur of the human race. The world has reached a tragic state where such pseudo practices are flourishing, while the true human culture is fast perishing. Humanity is blatantly ignorant and pays no attention to the most essential aspect of human development, building the intellect. The modern generation assesses a person only through his scholastic education and overt behavior. Much time and effort is devoted to language, grammar, and construction. And all emphasis is on information, knowledge, and technology acquired from external sources. None sees the importance, nor the necessity to think clearly, correctly, to develop the art and skill of thinking. Self appointed educators today lack the fundamentals of education. They are unaware of their limitations to think originally. But the problem lies not in their ignorance, but their firm belief that they know what they really do not. Josh Billings brilliantly conveys this idea. The trouble with most folks is not so much their ignorance as their knowing so many things which ain't so. You need to wake up from this slumber. Start thinking, questioning, inquiring as to the cause of all this strife and struggle. Examine the truths of life. Do not accept anything without reason and logic. Apply your intellect to verify their authenticity. Whatever complies with the principles of sound judgment, learn to accept them. Apply them in your life. You will then taste the joy of higher and chaster living. That would usher peace and harmony in the world. Humans have lost this fundamental principle of education. Few understand that knowledge proceeds from the known to the unknown. An unknown entity can be known only through known factors, and not through other unknown factors. Consider the origin of the world. It is unknown. People question, inquire as to the origin. The answer given to them is that God created the world. God is declared to be the origin of the world. This is no answer, for God too is unknown to humanity. How can one unknown factor convey the knowledge of another unknown factor? For example, you inquire the location of your friend's house. You do not know where it is. Your friend gives you several landmarks to locate his place, but all of them are unknown to you. They cannot help you find his house. You need at least one known landmark to locate it. So, too, the unknown God is described by other unknown names and terms. That God is infinite love, infinite mercy, infinite power, etc. But few realize that human intellect cannot conceive infinity. These unknown terms cannot give you the knowledge of God. But with the loss of intellect, humanity has blindly accepted these definitions of God. Thus, in the darkness of ignorance, the self styled religious bodies thrive, leading human beings to utter confusion and chaos. The intelligentsia who have become conscious of their limitations have given up their pursuit of God. The ignoramuses believe that they know and mislead innocent masses. The world needs to build a think tank to guide the rest of humanity. A state of emergency has been created by hosts of militant non thinkers, and humans have become an endangered species. The critical need of the hour is to salvage the residual thinkers, get them together, and launch a massive program to revive the art, skill, technique of original thinking and reasoning. People need to carefully rehabilitate, rebuild their fallen intellect. A sound intellect alone can face and overcome this threatening situation created by humans. With reconstituted intellect, the new generation of thinkers must reflect upon the eternal truths laid down by ancient savants and sages. Experiment and verify the authenticity of these truths in practical life and build their conviction. With such conviction, they must communicate the solemn truth to save humanity from the brink of extinction.
Hmm. result of non-thinking. The result of non-thinking in what area, in which subject? There is a lot of thinking going on in some areas. There is that the vital area is neglected. That's what he's saying. Result of non-thinking, as in the vital area of life, thinking has stopped completely, whereas lot of thinking, studying, questioning, reasoning, etc. is happening in some other aspect. Are you able to follow? If you read it superficially, it looks like as though in no area of life it is happening. No, it's not happening in all areas of life. In some areas of life, there is thinking, etc. that is happening. But the vital area, there is no thinking. What is the vital area in which thinking has stopped? The vital area in which thinking has stopped is the beliefs and faiths, the faith that we built up very early in life, that which stays with us for the rest of the life. We pick up beliefs. We pick up beliefs. We pick up some beliefs. We pick up some faiths. That stays with us for the rest of the rest of the life. That is not being questioned, is it? The result of non-thinking in what area? Within brackets, you supply it. Don't say result of non-thinking generally. If you assume result of non-thinking generally, it will be very confusing, because so much of science and technology is advancing using these principles. No. And yet, what is the statement saying? It is no, humanity has stopped thinking. Humanity has stopped thinking. Humanity has stopped thinking in the vital area, and the result of stopping, the result of non-thinking in the vital area. Not in terms of science and technology, etc. In the area of science and technology, etc., lot of thinking is happening. How do we know that a lot of thinking is happening? Advancement. We are seeing the advancement. No. The fact that we are seeing external advancement means thinking is happening there. But that thinking and that advancement is not going to result in the vital thing the human being is searching for. In that sense, result of non-thinking. So result of non-thinking has to be understood in a very, it's a very special usage here. It's a very special usage. Don't take it, don't generalize it and understand. Because if you generalize it and read it, it looks like you go out and tell, no, nobody's thinking. They'll look back at you and saying, you don't know what you are talking. Without thinking, how can so much of advancement can happen externally? Therefore, thinking is happening in the areas that are not essential. Thinking has completely stopped in the vital area. What is that vital area? The beliefs, the faiths. The beliefs that we pick up, the faith that we pick up. It takes root in the early childhood. It takes root in the early childhood, and no thinking happens in that area. That's what he's calling as result of non-thinking. That's why all the examples as a result of non-thinking, you will always find about the faith, the belief, the values, God, which is the vital aspect of life. Why? Because these factors alone are going to determine your mental state. The growth of technology is not going to determine your mental state. Again, growth of technology is not going to determine your mental state. Then what is going to determine your mental state? That which is going to determine your mental state is your understanding of beliefs, faith, value systems, religion, God, etc. Because nothing is happening there, what has happened? Because there is no thinking, at all that is happening in the vital area of humanity, irrational approach bereft of logic and reason started happening there. Therefore, you find all pseudo-religious. Pseudo-religious means appearing, wearing the mask of religion, but not religious at all. You follow? Succumbing to either without inquiring, one set of people reject everything and they call themselves as, there are one set of people who takes pride in calling themselves as rationals, atheist thinking. One set of people take pride in calling themselves that. Same thing. Why? Because they have not investigated at all into it. Because they have not investigated at all into it, the conclusions that all this thing I don't believe in doesn't make any sense. Another set of people blindly accept. One set of people blindly reject. Another set of people blindly accept. Because of this blind acceptance or rejection is a result of non-thinking. Are you able to follow? People say, I am an atheist, sir. I said, is that a pride or what? What is there to be proud about? See, by atheist, what that person is saying is what? Atheist, what that person is saying, I'm a rational thinker. I don't go by faith. Everything has to be logical and rational. Correct? Another set of people blindly follow. Both of them have stopped. Both of them have stopped thinking. And what is the result of this non-thinking? In the vital areas of life, in the important areas of life, we become superstitious. We become in the vital areas of life, in the important aspects of life, we become superstitious. That's what he's calling it as the result of non-thinking. What is the result of non-thinking? You will become superstitious. Examples of superstitious is given. Some broad examples of superstition. What is that? Vastu, soothsayers, whatever be it. All these are examples of superstitions. Why all this is called a superstition? Now, technically, you understand this. Technically, you must understand. I'll explain technically. Thinking must go by a pramanam. Again, I repeat. For thinking to happen, you should know what instrument to use where. Then only you are thinking rightly. Again, I repeat. For thinking to happen rightly, the study of pramanams is very important. Pramanam means what? Pramanam means the knowledge of which instrument can be used for what. That is clarity in thinking. Are you okay till now? Example. For color and form, what is that instrument? Eye. Eye is an instrument that we have to use for color and form. Why not I reconfirm it through nose? Why not I reconfirm it through nose? What? Through nose, what you can do? Through ears, you can only. So, regarding the entire subject matter of sound, what is the pramanam? ears. Regarding the entire subject matter of color and form, the eyes. This is called the right application of pramanam. Are you okay till now? Result of non-thinking means what? Result of non-thinking means we do not know which pramanam to use for what. That is called result of non-thinking. Are you able to follow? We do not know which instrument should be used where. Because of confusion, we keep mixing it up. When you mix it up, not only you will not be thinking properly, you will end up becoming superstitious. So how do you become superstitious? This is how you become superstitious. One type of knowledge, you can figure it out by yourself, where you can use your sense perceptions, inference ability, etc. You can figure it out by yourself. When it comes to other aspect of life, what we call as the law of life, the dharma, etc., you cannot do it by yourself. There, people mix it up. Are you able to follow where the mistake is happening? When it comes to the area of dharma, the law of life, they will bring in pratyaksha and anumanam. They will use pratyaksham and anumanam to infer about dharma, and obviously that instruments are not helpful in teaching you that. Therefore, any conclusions that you come based on the wrong usage of instrument is irrational. Is the clarity? It's very, very important. You understand that, you will know which instrument has to be used where. You follow? Perception happens by itself. You don't have to go and train yourself to perceive. Perception happens by itself. We go to school, university, college, etc. For what? To learn how to infer rightly. You understand that? Do you understand what we are learning? What are we trying to learn through education? Education means learning to infer rightly. In some subject, some instrument is used for inference. When it comes to a subject matter about life, etc., pratyaksha, anumana, etc., is of no use. Therefore, bringing in those instruments to understand this is irrelevant. Then only you are a rational thinker. You are moving from known to the unknown. So proper thinking means knowing proper use of instrument. Isn't it? You go to the mechanic shop, there are spanners of how many size spanners they have. You go to a mechanic shop. So for you to know how to use it, you need to know which instrument has to be used for what. Isn't it? When it comes to the knowledge of life, etc., that we are talking here, what is the instrument? You cannot go by pramanam of sense perception and inference based on sense perceptible data. Again, I repeat, your senses gives you a data, and based on the data you infer. That is senses dependent knowledge. In relation to the world, all knowledge happens like this. Again, I repeat, all knowledge is in the world. How does it happen? Senses gives you the data. Based on the data that senses provide you with, you infer. When it comes to the higher aspects of life, senses have no access. When senses don't have any access, On what basis you infer? There is no inference, no nothing. Therefore, what happens? We develop superstitions. We develop some conditionings in the early childhood and just continue with that conditioning. That should not happen, is what he's saying. Start thinking, questioning, inquiring as to what you should question. One type of question is why Apple is falling down. That is one type of question. Another type of question is the cause of strife and struggle. One type of question is external. Why it is happening. So you can ask for why outside. Another type of questioning is asking why inside. Are you okay till now? Again, what is the result of wrong thinking, non-thinking? Wherever you conclude the external as the cause for internal, you have made a mistake in thinking. Again, wherever you conclude the external as the cause for the internal. What is internal? Peace, your mind. What is external? Objects and beings. The external is the cause for internal, is one conclusion. Another is what? It has got nothing to do with external. Irrespective of what the external is, you should still be calm, peaceful. That is another. Now, Vedanta belongs to what area? Vedanta belongs to one or two? The two. One is what the whole world believes in. What is the whole world believing in? Set right the external, my internal is taken care of. Set right the external, my internal is taken care of. That is one thinking. Set right the external means who all you should set right? Who all you should set right? What all you should set right? The entire creation has to be set right. We try it. We are trying that. How many ever times we hear, we still go back to the method one only. Why? Because the result of non-thinking is very clear. What? External is the cause for internal. Another type of thinking that comes and says, if external is the cause for internal, reconcile and be happy suffering. Amit, are you able to follow? If external is the cause, reconcile to one thing. What you should reconcile to? Be happy in misery. Reconcile to being miserable all the time. Are you able to follow? How? The external is never ever going to be, the external is never ever going to be in the way that you seek or want. Because external is never ever going to be in the way that you seek or want, ultimately what happens? No, sir. Somehow I should make it happen. That is one type of thinking. What is it? Somehow I should make it happen. What you will make it happen? Ravi. Class, why are we coming for your classes, sir? Are we coming to your classes for us to change? Please, don't think like that. If you are thinking like that, you are mistaken. What are we coming to the classes for? Gather, take some material from here and go and change the external. Narayana. Amit, don't try that here. Huh? Don't try that here. Take some important points, take some good points and go and change the external. Class they said last week. It is very important for you. Nah, it doesn't work that. Are you able to follow? Therefore, what is the result of non-thinking? The result of non-thinking is the external will have no say on the internal. It means a different study, a different methodology of study, a different methodology of inquiry. From that angle, humanity has stopped thinking. That is the result of non-thinking. Are you able to understand what he is saying by humanity has stopped thinking and result of non-thinking? As long as you believe in the external as the cause for the internal, your thinking is going in the wrong direction. The moment you say, leave the external alone, irrespective of what the external is, can I still get what I want? A few had the courage to explore. Again, I repeat, very few people had this courage to explore. Those who explored, found out it is possible, gave us this knowledge. That's what he concludes by saying, those experiment and verify the authenticity of these truths laid down by the ancient sages. A few, a very bold experiment they tried. I tell you, it's a very, very bold experiment. You need a lot of courage to venture into that experiment. Few had that courage. What is that courage? Irrespective of the external, can I handle the internal? Straight away, what will be the answer? Obvious answer is what? Huh? No. Obvious answer no, na yes, isn't it? If the obvious answer is no, it means it is possible. The obvious answer is no, na, it's too different an exercise. It's so much of an effort, etc., and all involved in it. Therefore, it is possible. It is possible. Those who tried that gave out this knowledge, and that angle of thinking humanity has stopped. As the result of this non-thinking is what? Strife and struggle. Individually, collectively, society, down the line, there is down the line. Family is a group of 4 individuals or 5 individuals. Society is a group of 500 individuals. Country in a group of 5 billion individuals, I don't know, million, billion, whatever be it. Ultimately, it boils down to what? To the individual. What is the result of non-thinking? The result of non-thinking is that which can be done only by the individual, it is outsourced. What is outsourced? The individual has outsourced their peace and happiness to, they have given the responsibility of keeping you happy and peaceful. To whom? Who's responsible to keep you happy? Vijay. Yarude responsibility adu. Whose responsibility is to keep you happy? Government. Isn't it? Government. That's their responsibility, sir. Government. Share market, huh? Share market. Yeah. அது சங்கருக்கு தான் ப்ராப்ளம். எனக்கு அந்த ப்ராப்ளம் கிடையாது. Yeah. Share market. Who should keep you? Whose responsibility? For which you need to learn to ask a very fundamental question. What is a fundamental question that people have stopped asking, as a result of which humanity has stopped thinking, result of non-thinking? Always ask this question to yourself. Who owns your mind? Who's the owner of your mind? Who owns it? Who's the owner of your mind? Ideally, you should be yourself. In an ideal scenario, you should own your mind. Now who's the owner? Huh? Except you, everybody else. Yeah. Definitely you are not the owner. Then who's the owner? அது தெரியாது, மாறினே இருக்கும் இல்லையா? That keeps in. Therefore, what is thinking means? What is clarity in thinking? Ask yourself this question. Who owns your, who's the owner of your mind? In an ideal scenario, we should be the owner. Yeah, Raghu. In an ideal scenario, who should be the owner? Everybody should own their mind. In an ideal scenario. But what is the current scenario? Who owns the mind? Except you. Except you. Isn't it? How do you know that? How do you know that? Mullah Nasruddin said, in 10 seconds, I will make you feel sick, he said. In 10 seconds is enough to make you feel sick. To the wrestler, to the best wrestler in the town, he said, in 10 seconds, I'll make you feel sick. You will not be sick at all, but you will be. So the wrestler said, impossible. How can you make me sick? 6 months passed. The wrestler forgot that. Mullah Nasruddin remembered that. So what he did, he hired 10 guys. Kept the 10 guys in 10 different points. As soon as the wrestler comes out of his morning training, he went into for the morning training. As soon as he's coming out of the morning training, first person will tell him, what? You look sick today. That's all. Just you look sick today. Impossible. Nonsense. What are you talking? Just now I'm coming from practice. How can you? He dismissed it. Fourth fellow, what will happen? Fourth fellow, what will happen? Doubt will come. What is the doubt? Samshayam. Yeah. Maybe I'm sick. Eighth fellow asking, convinced, I am sick. 10th fellow saying, asking the same question, where will the wrestler end up in? MRI scan. He will go into that MRI, whole body, I don't know. Beta scan, data scan, I don't know what all scan they do, isn't it? Oh my God. I also went for all that. Isn't it? And then they will tell you, nothing is wrong with you. Or even if something is wrong, nothing can be done about it. Either they will say everything is all right with you, or they will say something is wrong, but nothing can be done about it now. So what is humanity has stopped with? What is the result of non-thinking means? We don't know who is the owner of your mind. Who owns your mind? That's all the questions. Result of non-thinking means what? Who owns your mind except you? Anybody can. A word is enough. Somebody says a word, somebody says a remark, somebody not saying a remark. Isn't it? Association group la messages were, isn't it? Association group la messages will come. What? Oh, somebody saying good morning is irritating. Somebody not saying good morning is irritating. We don't know why. Because the person whom you want to say good morning is not saying. The person whom you don't want to say good morning is saying good morning. Now, what will you do? Who owns your mind? The result of non. What is the result of non-thinking? We lost complete control on the mind. Whose mind? But we want to control what? What we want to control? Where do we want to enter and control? Huh? If only Aparna gets a chance, she will go into whose mind? Correct. Daughter's mind and change. Yeah. If Ranjani gets a chance, where will she want to go and change? She will say, rendu mind I will change. Yeah. One is Swati, another is Arvindan. Somewhere down the line, we want to go into somebody and change. I thought humanity has stopped thinking. This attempt itself is a futile, foolish attempt. Instead of doing, therefore, what happens? Everybody is doing that. It doesn't work. Therefore, what do? We get so disappointed. We get so dejected in life. We get so disappointed in life. Out of this dejection and disappointment, not knowing what else to do, we turn superstitious. Sequence point. Not knowing what to do, we turn superstitious. In order to avoid all these things, start asking question. Inna question kekano. At least I asked myself this question. Long back, I asked this question to myself. Who owns my mind? I was very egoistic. I want to own my mind. Because anybody and everybody can just like, anybody can, everybody just like that can tick me off. So insulting, no? Isn't it? There's nothing can be done about it. It's okay. That's how life is. You reconcile to it. Then be happy in misery. Then don't come and ask how to be. Then one question we should not ask. What? How to be happy? Because you cannot be happy. It's impossible to be happy. That is the result of. This is the result of non-thinking. In the darkness of ignorance, human beings get into utter confusion and chaos. In the darkness of ignorance, human beings get into utter chaos. How to avoid this chaos? Start questioning. Start thinking. What is the question that you should ask? Every day ask yourself this question. If somebody owns your mind, you have become the slave. If somebody owns your mind, you have become a slave to the other. If you own your mind, you are the master. Education, what is the purpose of education? Why do we want ourselves to get educated and our children also to get educated? For what? To become a slave or master? Master. But all education is ending up in slavery. Humanity has stopped. So because of the result of that, humanity stopped thinking. What is the result of non-thinking? Either you will be an illiterate slave or, either you will be an illiterate slave or a PhD slave. What difference does it make? Whether you are, only satisfaction, is what Ramtirtha gives as example. The only satisfaction is what? Foolishness it is. The only satisfaction is when others are all chained by iron, my satisfaction is I am chained by gold. I am chained by solid gold, sir. Where rest are all, whether it is iron or gold, chain is chain. Suffering is suffering. Result of non-thinking is what? Education will become a burden. Knowledge will sit on you as a burden. Knowledge will sit on you as a burden. What is knowledge sitting on you? Burden means you tell the donkey, no, 2 tons carry, struggling and carrying. You add another 100 kilos of iron, another 100 kilos of gold. Will it carry? Whether it is gold or iron, burden is a burden. Avladhan thinking. Whether it is gold or iron, chain is a Only satisfaction is what? Yeah. Only satisfaction is what? If you are crying and suffering in a hut, I am crying and suffering in a villa. அவ்வளவுதான் difference. Yeah. One man is crying and suffering in a hut. Another man is crying and suffering in a palace. What is the satisfaction of the fellow in palace? That's satisfaction. Are you able to follow? Is that a satisfaction? What is the satisfaction of the fellow in the palace? His only satisfaction is what? At least I am crying in a palace. No. Humanity has stopped. So what is the result of non-thinking? The result of non-thinking is slavery. The result of non-thinking is slavery. And what does slavery means? The ownership of the mind is given to the rest. As slavery, your mind is owned by somebody. Yeah, result of non-thinking. With this, we conclude for today. We'll continue next.